Hi guys, and welcome to another episode. We have two special guests today, and they run Love Your London. And I'm going to invite them in now, and they're going to talk about their YouTube channel that they have, and also all the shenanigans that they get up to with the channel around London. So let's just get them on now and we will speak to them. Hello.
Hello there, how are you?
Hi. Good. How are you? Where's Sharon?
Oh, it's so small. You've got it over on that. I was expecting a whole screen. There we are. I was standing in the wrong place. All right.
Okay. Hi guys. Can you just tell us what Love Your London is about and what made you start it?
Well, basically, lockdown had started, it was beginning to start. It hadn't really kicked in yet, and so we were in quite a lot more because although there was no lockdown yet, we were a little bit nervous about going out. So we ended up watching a lot more videos, and we started watching a channel called Geography Now, which basically went through the entire world, starting with and they're doing a show about each country, and that gave us the idea of doing something similar for London. So we were originally going to go to every single station in London, starting with Acton, and doing a video about it. But then we realized that it's been done, and also it'd be very expensive because, I mean, just to go sort of like from let's say if you're doing Acton, obviously you start with Acton town, but then if you want to do the other parts around Acton, like West Acton and South Acton, everything, you'd be going back to those places sort of several weeks later. So it made sense to stick to a geographical area. So we created 144 different areas of London. We sort of split it up. We didn't want to use the official boroughs because they were too large.
And we're not the A to Z either.
No.
So we're trying to do something that has a big overlap because it's London and nobody gets bored with London. It's, and
there's so many things to do, isn't there?
And it changes all the time.
And so originally we started off, we were just going to do what was around each station, but then we just realized that in fact sometimes the interesting things aren't right next to the station. So we broadened it. So the first 8 episodes were about Acton and on all the stations around Acton and all the bars and then we the more that we were researching, we discovered all these little quirky facts and interesting things about sort of strange buildings, interesting stories that people had. And we were really enjoying filming it, but then proper lockdown happened. So I mean,
it was work though.
Yes, but
I'll tell you about it.
Our very, very first episode did extremely well.
Yeah.
It was because if you look at it, this is our Acton very first episode. We ended up within the first 5 minutes. The police were asking us.
You went back. You'll see it. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
It was quite a start, but that actually
completely true.
That made the video sort of like get quite a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
But then
what were they thinking? Like you were doing something a bit.
They didn't know why we were filming inside the station.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they gave me a bit of hassle, but I got it.
You'll see
I got it all on video. So
yeah. So everybody should have a watch of your first video, especially then.
Absolutely.
Because like there's so many vloggers around. Maybe they just sometimes they're not very knowledgeable about things, are they? I feel.
No.
I think, and just to have
something. It's funny. It's funny. The mistakes. It's inspiring.
Yeah. And I think also we've just been getting better and better with our editing and discovering important things. I mean, we don't have. We got.
Tell them about your YouTube addiction. The things you watch. GeoGuessr.
Oh yes, I mean I love geography.
He's turned into a complete geography, GeoGuessr, history.
Yeah, I mean
you have that background, don't you? You have a lot of love and passion for geography and history, don't you?
History, yes.
And history and
old camera.
And I mean the camera we use is still the GoPro Hero 7.
Just a 7.
It's fantastic. I mean, I've read reviews. In fact, it's better than the 8 and the 9. I think the newest ones are probably better.
But other than that,
yeah.
other than those that issue on the first episode, is there any other interesting people that you've met? And because there must be a lot after you're going around.
Absolutely, and it's always serendipitously. I mean,
on the street a couple times.
Sometimes like people just will wonder what we're doing. I mean, we met a chap from Somaliland in Aldgate who sort of like was telling us all about his country and why they need independence and everything. Then I played chess on Brick Lane with a guy who was
the old Russian dude,
an old Russian guy,
Russian Jewish.
and then
stop talking, start playing.
Yes, and then we just keep bumping into these extraordinary people. And when we were in Balham earlier, we met there was a homeless guy came up to us and started talking about why he hated the area, which is not actually what we want to do, because we want to talk about why we love London. But it was still, he was very funny, so we kept it in. We got his permission, of course.
Yes.
But we didn't approach him, he approached us, because a lot of people want to tell their stories. They see someone with a camera and we look very approachable.
The t-shirt.
We look very approachable. I mean, we don't look very corporate or anything.
No.
So nice people come up to us and want to chat. So we went to, when we did Arsenal, we went up to the Arsenal grounds, and I think some of the fans thought we might have been from Arsenal fan TV or something, because they're all coming up and they all wanted to talk on the camera, which was great for us. Yes. And they're talking about their what they thought of the manager. At the time, he wasn't very popular, and now I think it'd be quite different, because in fact he's doing very well this season.
I've been with you around as well, and you are very creative people, interesting, entertaining, especially. I've even got a photo of one I went to you with. I'm just going to show it on the screen, and then we can show the picture. And it's this one here. Let's have a look. So we went to the Van Gogh immersive experience, didn't we?
Did you manage to sneak one of those flowers under your coat and get it out of there? Because I didn't have the right clothes, Jasmine. The sunflowers, we were both admiring.
No, I really liked that outfit, because it was like, it were just reminding me of food, like udon food.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So that was one of them. And then also you've done a lot of different event areas, like all kind of what is it, like spas you've been to, and some other hilarious places that you've been. Like how were they when you went to them? And
they were fine.
And what
they would show them.
Yeah, so they're all fine. I mean, we've really enjoyed. There's been something to enjoy in every single episode, to be honest. I mean, we're very proud. Well, I'm at least very proud of the content we put out. Sharon,
I am too.
You are proud, but you can be a little bit more critical.
I'm more critical. I follow him around with the camera. I'm a producer, but when it comes to the actual content, I sort of look over his shoulder and go,
yeah.
Okay, it's another 2.5 hours of watching him walk around the street, and then he edits, because I'm like, we're using a nice old computer, no alpha wheel, it's not even got a mouse. So
that's where it begins, though, isn't it? That's where it begins.
Yes,
you kind of grown your audience more and more now.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, we definitely hope we're quite close to reaching our threshold where we can start monetizing the channel. We've got. We've got almost 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've got a couple of thousand on Facebook. So we're going to try and bring them over to YouTube to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Dangle the right carrot. I guess,
But yeah, I mean, it was a real shame that lockdown happened when it did, because the proper lockdown.
We wouldn't have done this if it weren't for lockdown, really, because I saw it as an opportunity. True. First of all, because I personally have lived in London for over 20 years. That's more than half my life.
But it did mean that we had to slow down, because
nothing was open.
Nothing was open. So we
and walking around like this, trying to talk on a camera.
That was really hard.
Doesn't have the same appeal.
No.
Yeah, so it's not the microphone.
I didn't want to go out there, but before the vaccines and so on, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But
stay out of the way of the hospital.
You do compliment each other as well when you do your video making process and things. And it sounds like, you have a strong foundation as friends before, because you are an actual couple, aren't you?
We are, yes.
Yeah. What attracted you to a friendship and, in developing into a relationship?
It was a blind date set up by friends.
Oh, was it a blind date?
Yeah. Just like my mom and dad, and they were together for 50 years,
Yeah. And
it can work.
And create. Yeah, we just both enjoyed one another's creativity.
Yeah, and we didn't hook up straight away. It took a while because we had our own lives and things happen in your own life and whatever. And then gradually it was like, hey, I'm available, you're available. Yeah. What can possibly go wrong?
So you were just on the same page, weren't you, after that?
Yes, that's right.
In a very large book.
Yeah, and you guys have a lot of skills which people might not know about. And what are some of your favorite ones about yourself?
Well, we both.
I don't use it very often, though.
Yeah, opera singer.
That is one of them. What was it that you have? You have like was it an education background in opera or something? What is it?
Yes, my first master's I did in art in New York and design and illustration, and the second one I did in 18th century performance practice at the Guildhall. It was one of the first MUS cohorts. Yeah. So that was way back. I was just in my late 20s when I finished both. So. Long time ago, and in the meantime, I've been hanging around in London doing stuff. And
she was also fantastic at art, at painting and stuff like that. And we've been doing things together. So, for example,
this is was this pre-pandemic?
Yeah, this is pre-pandemic. This is one that.
One of your cat paintings.
Yeah, Sharon painted this one.
Yeah.
You're a natural, Tristán. Show off. Everyone loves his. Check it out.
I really like that one. It's a psychedelic one.
He loves his psychedelic art. I think it's great.
Yeah, I really like that.
And that's actually that's the first painting I've ever done.
They do these things in London. Get online and check it out. We might actually feature something like that next time we do one. This was before we did our channel. Just you go with your friends or whatever, spend a few quids, and they provide all the materials. And
so it was like an art class that you went to.
Yes, an art class. So you can paint whatever you want.
Yeah. That wasn't too far from where we lived.
So we've done a lot of things like that, to be honest, together. And we always enjoy. We also very much enjoy festivals and things like that. And
outdoors and camping and music and art, and
so we've got that in common. And we sort of, we try to aim for about 5 festivals a year. Music festivals,
especially now that we can.
And festivals these days, the festivals we go to. I mean, we used to go to Glastonbury and all the big ones, which is obviously a festival of arts as well as music. But a lot of the small festivals that we go to, such as, for example, Anthropos, which is a very sort of hippie festival that we've been to this year, and we went to the very first one because before
the pandemic. What was that called again?
Anthropos. And the music is really nice, sort of chill out side up. But one of the other things it has is an art gallery. Yes. So an amazing art gallery of sort of various different psychedelic art forms. Which we absolutely love.
It's kind of semi-boutique. My preference is for the festivals are not too large. I'm an outdoor. I grew up in the countryside in Canada, so I'm very familiar with just wanting to. I need to forest bathe. The Japanese have a great word for it. I can't remember what it is right now, but forest bathing and going outside, wild swimming, just being in the air and having a tree near you.
Yeah,
that is like free endorphins.
Yeah.
And your body will make you happy just doing that.
And the nature,
And the small festivals we go to, I mean, people are very respectful of nature, of the nature.
Not one cigarette butt, not one tin on the floor.
Yeah.
I was going barefoot around Anthropos. No glass was around.
Wow, it's so clean. Wow.
Yeah.
No glass.
And like when people leave, even if their tent is broken, they don't sort of leave it there. They'll bring it back home with them. There's a real leave no trace. Whereas you go to the larger festivals like the Glastonbury's, and it's like
hundreds of thousands of
people.
It's
like the Battle of the Somme after everyone's left. I mean, just like mud and
the weather doesn't help either. I mean, if you have many people in one place, as we've learned with civilization, nature takes a back seat pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The people everywhere.
Yeah, but it's really good. The other one that you're talking about is kind of like a mix of music and art together, and they have a respect for nature.
And live music.
I mean,
too,
the festival owner actually said, the landowner actually said that the land looked better after the festival than it did before the festival.
He was the
Wow.
he was the actual. His ancestral seat was the manor house not far from where we were.
Yeah.
And it was he'd never, I think, hosted that. That was a new site for Anthropos.
Mm.
So we really lucked out, and they had these forest walks with lighting in the trees, and it was 24-hour. So there was always something going on.
Yeah.
So if you were not inclined to sit in your tent, we lucked out with the weather. That's one of my favorite festivals and remains so.
Yeah.
I look forward to going again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We've really got tickets. No, we haven't got tickets for it next year yet, but we've got tickets for Noisily, which is another one. That's a slightly larger festival, but it's still great fun.
Yeah.
Which one is that one that you're going to?
Noisily. We always go to Noisily if we can. It's a slightly bigger festival. It's about 10,000 people.
Yeah.
But it's also a fantastic, really friendly people.
We've been to most of them. So,
yeah.
Yeah. It's a terrific location as well, but I think the new location is coming. They have to make a change there too.
Yeah. Preserve the wood.
The human beings are wearing out the planet. You got to move them around.
Yeah.
Because you're quite conscious about the environment, aren't you, as well? That's something I felt from you guys, that you were very informative about.
Yes, absolutely. And also, if people who watch our videos may notice that whenever we see sort of some rubbish strewn around, Sharon often sort of focuses on it.
No, that's just being a spectrum girl.
But just also to remind people that
it's an urban center. It's not always pretty.
We should tidy up after ourselves. So
yeah, I so agree.
Yeah.
It's the mark of people and animals too. I mean, we're animals. Yeah. We're no better than anything else, and we do a heck of a lot more damage. So enjoy it while you can. And that's part of the joy of living in a place like London, where you just have to go out your door and walk for a few minutes and you're going to find something.
Exactly. And the places that you've been to as well, what are one of your most memorable, and one that I've watched as well, is where you went to the naked spa?
Yes. that was actually really fun. Yeah. We both are naturists, so that it's
not a strident one.
No, but it was actually it took me 3 weeks or so to edit it, because obviously YouTube have got very strict rules about nudity, so every single little bit had to be pixelated in the right place, frame by frame. That took forever. That was fun. I think our favourite, we really enjoyed the Alice in Wonderland thing.
The V&A, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know if I've got a favourite as such. I mean,
you've been to so many places, haven't you?
That's right. Yeah, we're just about to go to Barking and Dagenham.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, well, what are we going to find in Barking and Dagenham? But we're just researching.
Cheating with the other YouTubers. That's what you're doing.
That's not what I'm doing.
Oh, yes, you are. And no, you're going to historical primary resources.
Yeah, I'm not. But obviously you get ideas by looking at what other people.
Languages he can.
Yeah, so you kind of be inspired by
I actually watch the other YouTubers so that we don't copy them. So we don't.
But that's what they.
But for example, I mean, Barking has got obviously the Abbey. Then Dagenham, we have Valence House and the museum, and then there's obviously in Dagenham the whole history of the old Ford factory, which is now gone.
Don't forget the salt marsh.
There's a salt marsh in Barking. A
secret salt marsh.
There's lots of really interesting things, and obviously you got Billy Bragg. As I said, we like our festivals. Billy Bragg is always at Glastonbury in the left field tent. And he was born there, and there's even a street named after him, Bragg Close. We're sort of mapping out our route.
Next
videos and stuff. So what does he do? This is the guy that you just mentioned.
No, Billy Bragg is a folk singer.
Oh, okay.
He's probably this country's most revered living folk singer. I thought we're not actually really my kind of music, but he's not always going to be my kind of music. But I still have to show them. So I'm going to be showing hopefully where he was born and where he grew up in the school and everything. So we always hope that one of our episodes is going to go really, really viral. So if there are any Billy Bragg fans out there, they might share it, and that's always our hope. So
we're late bloomers, darling. Late bloomers.
We are.
It's quite funny though. Sometimes you go to places, like I think you went to like a singer's flat, and then this painter let you in or something.
That's right. Elton John. That was we went to.
Yeah. Sure. He was doing a renovation in there.
That's episode 11.
That's right.
Episode 11 of Angel and Islington, and we were filming outside a place where Elton John lived with Bernie.
Yeah.
In a flat.
Yeah, there's something about the oven, wasn't there? I was like,
yeah,
that's right. He sort of like did a very sort of a call to help, where he sort of like he was finding it really difficult to tell his fiance that he was not really into her in that way, and so he opened the oven door and put a cushion down and sort of like and turned the gas on.
Nice
but he had the window open, so it wasn't really very serious. And Bernie came down and turned the gas off, and he wrote a song about last night. You say it was a song about how that night Bernie saved his life. But we were outside talking about it, and there was a builder doing renovations inside, and he let us in. So like we actually went into the kitchen where this all happened, which was just
and
serendipity.
He knew where the wall was. He says actually the oven wasn't there.
It was really unfortunate because we were actually seeing the bit of history being destroyed.
Yes.
He was renovating it.
And he was very sort of specific about it. He was like, well, if you're talking about that was over here. We tore down that retaining wall and we put in new flooring. And he told us everything.
I was thinking, well, you know, there's this.
Now it just looks like another £3,000 a month basement flat over there.
Oh yeah, with the whole rental system over there.
Oh yeah. And we our latest episode is in Clapham South, which is all part of our Balham and Clapham and Tooting. Clapham South is technically part of Balham. So there's a lot there to talk about. Chrissie Hynde, who lived there, and we even show the patch of grass where Chrissie Hynde taught Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols.
It still is a patch of grass,
where
and with giant trees and a huge green and scruffy old buildings. That's probably are also still £3,000 a month to rent.
Yes.
But the external, the outside seems relatively intact, and there's a public green space and lots of places to walk around that aren't cement. And
we're just at the moment, we've got an episode coming out very shortly about mudlarking, where we talk to Lara Maitland, who's the queen of mudlarking. She's written books about it and everything. Mudlarking, for those mudlarking is looking on when the tide goes in.
It's a bird
on the Thames.
Isn't a mudlark a type of bird?
It's a
shore bird.
You look along the shore to find anything that has been there for hundreds of years. It gets washed up. Thousands. Which you're not technically allowed to do.
Not anymore.
Without a permit, but you can apply for a permit quite easily.
Because there are things there that matter, and they want to know where you found it, who you are, make sure it gets treated if it needs to be. And it's a terrific little book. I recommend it. It's not a heavy read, and she draws all her own pictures of all her little things that she finds. And she's just found a 6,000-year-old flint on the Thames because it's like a treasure that keeps getting stirred. Nothing is ever where it was before on that river. You can and anyone's allowed to walk down there.
So our next episode is about that, and then we're also doing an episode about Romanians in London and what they do for fun. And what we're doing is maybe starting a new series where we
food. We had
food. We had lots of food. Yeah,
food and lovely hospitality.
We went to. I mean, you'll see in the episode when it comes out. We go to see a football club, Romanian football club. Yeah. We go to a fair. We go for a meal.
Music.
We talk to lots of people. And what we might do is we might sort of like do other country guides to London. So we might sort of like see what
diaspora.
What Polish do, or Albanians, or Argentinians, or Koreans, or Australians, and maybe just have a separate episode on each one.
Yeah, because it's a very worldwide kind of hub, isn't it, London as well?
It is.
Such a mix of cultures, different various food and things as well. And again, like there's just so much to do and just be excited about. And I've got another picture of you guys when you went to the War of the Worlds. I'm going to just show them.
Yes.
And that was just hilarious, this photo of it. Do you want to just kind of talk about how that one was and like kind of the immersive experiences you've been to?
That was fantastic.
I think that was one of our first proper immersive, wasn't it? That was
I mean, I've been to a lot of punch drunks in the past.
But this is when it comes to
when it comes to using VR.
VR and mainstream accessibility for it.
Yeah,
so
it was fantastic. I mean, it's obviously based on Jeff Wayne's musical of H.G. Wells' book, The War of the Worlds. And it was just fantastic. It's still going on as far as I know. And in fact, if you use our code LYL10, you can still get a 10% discount.
Yeah, we set a record for them apparently.
Yeah, they got loads of people.
So somebody's watching our videos and liking this War of the Worlds. So it must have done a good job.
And that's why they invited us to do one on the gunpowder plot, because we'd sort of like managed to bring so many customers to them for the War of the Worlds. And the War of the Worlds one, that was just brilliant, because I don't want to give anything away, but there were three. You get taken down roughly following the story of H.G. Wells' story, but you get, and obviously with the music as well, the Jeff Wayne music. But every now and then you put on goggles, and you can actually see the other 11 people who are in the group with you as avatars.
Yeah.
And you might be sort of like sitting on a. I'll give you an example of one.
Sometimes their arms disappear, like, what's going on?
You sit on a boat, and the boat's rocking around up and down. But when you've got your goggles on, you are crossing the Thames in this boat, and as you turn around, you can see the other people in your group, but as different avatars, also sitting down, looking around them. Just fantastic. It's really, really imaginative. Done by.
It's not static. There's movement.
No,
and that's not a giveaway. That's just good. That's just good theater.
Yeah. Absolutely love it, and so we totally recommend that. Use LYL10 as a code, and you get 10% discount. Fantastic.
And so where can also everybody find your channel? What is it again? Like, what's the website?
Right. Well, the channel is Love Your London, and if you type Love Your London in to YouTube, we should be the first thing that you come across. But obviously, you'll notice it from our logo.
There you go.
LYL
quality.
Yep.
There's only one.
There's only one, and that's thanks to Pedro Torrome, who designed
it.
A friend in
really,
Spain.
And he just liked what we were doing and helped us with that.
And so you can go to loveyourlondon.com, but that's not the best way of watching our videos, because it's a very small screen. You can't make it larger. But if you go to loveyourlondon.com, we have a link to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/loveyourlondon, all one word. And we also have Instagram and other stuff like that, but we tend to use Instagram just for sort of like shorts.
Watch the YouTube, please.
Yes, and just try and hope.
Go on the videos, guys, because there's a lot of really interesting content on there where they just travel around the city and just like give you a lot of fun in the content. And also, because I do a lot of writing about couples and content on sex, info on growing, from abuse and trauma, and that kind of data ideas and reviews from couples. And we've done also an interview with you guys, so I will put that in the description, because you did an interview with me for a written article, so I will put that in there as well so people can read it. So let's go a bit back to you guys as a couple. How did you start dating? You said it was a blind date, wasn't it? And then how did it get from there?
Well, basically we met at a festival, and we were just close friends to begin with, and then sort of like a little time, sometime later, we ended up sort of dating. But I mean, we met at a festival through mutual friends who introduced us.
So did you know each other at all beforehand? As in
no, we didn't. We didn't.
No idea.
And nothing happened at the beginning, apart from just sort of keeping in touch.
At a festival, and
like
you do with anyone you meet.
And sort of like contacting each other over the texts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
For a while, but then like a month later, whatever, we ended up hooking up.
Yeah. So because you've been together for quite a long time. How long have you been together?
Oh well, it was.
Is it
actually keep track because we met first? I don't know what, because I mean it's sort of hard to say because it was many months from when we first met.
Yeah, so it was.
Over a decade though, isn't it?
It wasn't straight away.
Oh yeah,
so it would have been late, probably late 2000.
It's got to be close to, what is it now?
Late 2008, I think it was.
Yeah, so it gives you an idea. 14 odd years, maybe coming up 50. I mean, it just.
Yeah.
And what is a top like kind of tip for you guys? You know, just be so solid together for so long.
I suppose not. Well, one of the things is
you've got to have your own inner life.
Yeah.
And not be too. Expect too much of the other person to fill gaps in your own weaknesses. You can offer what you can, but at the same time, it's been pretty stressful in the last 3 years, I think, for everybody. Me, I've had like sort of health issues that I've had to deal with. I've calorie restricted and I fixed them all, but it was an awful year. And then the pandemic and being stuck in not just a flat, but a very small flat with other people, not being able to do things. There's a lot of mental stuff that goes on. And I think that's true for everybody. We had to close a business, we had to deal with finances and so on. And we're still here.
Yeah, exactly. So you've actually like kind of lifted your own weight, it sounds like, but then also helped each other at the same time.
Yeah. But I mean, both of us come from families, if I may. Neither of our parents are divorced, and my brother has been with his partner since 1983. Yeah. So I think some of it you learn.
Yeah, you've got good role models within your kind of proximity as well.
Who you are too, though. So
and if we ever disagree on something, we try not to let it dwell.
We don't even leave the next room without.
Don't put it under the carpet, you know.
No.
Because that carpet's going to come out, isn't it? Of all that dirt and stuff. So you guys just deal with it gradually.
Ruminate. Yeah. The rumination, we're both inclined that way. And being a sort of an ASCII girl, I'm always ruminating, and my brain goes at a peculiar rate sometimes. Yeah. So I know that about myself now. I'm in my 50s. It's taken a long time, but that's why I'm glad I didn't start dating until I was in my 30s. I never even went out with anybody. Yeah,
you have a deep understanding for yourself, and then you also understand each other as well, which is great. It complements each other. So that is so
happen overnight.
I love your channel. It's just so entertaining. So people should go on that and watch, your videos. Can you just then repeat again one more time what that channel is, and then I'm going to say.
It's Love Your London. If you go to. If you go to our website, www.loveyourlondon, or one word.com, you can see the link to our YouTube channel. Or if you just go to YouTube and type Love Your London, you should find that logo.
Just find
very close to the top.
It took a Spaniard to come up with the sort of crazy London logo. I love it.
And then obviously we've got playlists, and each area of London is divided up by playlists, so it's very easy to follow. So if you're only interested in one particular part of London, I mean, we've done. So the website for that is obviously www.youtube.com/Love Your London. But when you go to the playlist, you'll have one on Acton, one on Alperton, one on Angel and Islington, one on Aldgate, and then obviously we started now on the Bees with Balham and.
Only the Bees.
We're getting on now. Next is going to be Barking, then Barnes, and then after that,
better.
So just a lot of different places to look forward to as well.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I think it's sometimes you're not going to stick to the program. We are doing the A to Z in that sense.
I mean, originally it's going to last us for 12 years.
Yeah,
I think we're going to be
20.
I think it's going to be closer to 15.
Oh, you say that now. It's going to be 20.
We
better get a better camera by then.
Well, as soon as we start monetizing properly, we'll get the next camera up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
My eyeballs.
Yeah,
thank you so much for today and talking about it.
What's that? Sorry.
So thank you so much for talking about your channel.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
So thank you so much, Tristán and Sharon, and I will speak to you soon.
Okay then.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.